Today I think you're going to have the most fun you've had so far in this course. We're going to be doing a special project called UFO News. And so you're going to be the camera operator and the producer, and you're going to need a couple of friends or family members or classmates to act as your news reporter and your UFO abductee. It's going to be a lot of fun, believe me. I've got a couple of examples that I've included in this tutorial. And so what you're going to do is you'll need a camera, and hopefully if you've got a tripod, that'll be great. Set that up, and you're going to be directing this as well as producing it, and then you're going to be taking the captured video and importing it into a computer and then into your editing program. We use Premiere. And then you're going to be adding some special effects and things like that. I've given you all the assets, so all you need to do is follow the instructions and do your very best. Be creative. You can add a few things to the script if you want. I don't care. It's not going to hurt me at all. But then you can export it and send me the video, and so I can look it over for you and give you any helpful feedback that you might need. Okay, so sit back, have fun, and watch the instructions, and then watch the examples that I've given you, and then go out and gather that UFO news. If you have a newer computer, it very likely has an SD card reader built in. But if not, there are a lot of SD card readers that plug into your USB port. Once you have your SD card plugged into the card reader in your computer or through the extra card reader that goes into the USB drive, you'll see it on your desktop. It'll default as no name. You can rename it if you want. Double click on it and then go to Private, then AVC HD. You can double click on that and it'll show you thumbnails of all the video that you've shot. Let's say we want to open and export this one here. You can only do one at a time, and that's part of the problem. It's better to import them all. You can import them directly into Premiere and it'll recognize them, and then you can export them all together. But this is another way, and so I think it's important that you know different ways of doing it. You can save and export these individually, then import them into Premiere. But the way you do that is you open it, then you export 1080p, that's your high def, and then navigate to the desktop. Don't try to save it back into the SD card. Navigate to where you're going to save it, and I have a special folder here just for that. Rename it to whatever you want. In this case, I'm going to just call it Clip 7, which is the original name for it. Press return, and you'll see your progress bar. Once it's saved, you'll see it right here in your folder, and then you can import it into your project. Again, like I said, this is kind of the long way to do it because you can import these directly into Premiere. Another way to do this, maybe a little bit quicker, is to go into the SD card and right click on AVC HD, go to Show Package Contents, then right click again on BDMV and go to Show Package Contents. Then go to the Stream folder, and that contains all the files that you shot with the camera. Copy the Stream folder, then paste it into the folder where you want to save your assets. And it'll copy it into that folder. Then once you've done that, you can rename that folder. Then we can open Premiere, and then we can import those MTS files and work directly with them in Premiere. So once you're in Premiere, do Command-I. Go into the folder, and you can select all of them, import. And once they have imported, we can look, and there they are. And you can see they're still MTS files. They haven't been converted yet, but once you export, you can convert them. Here's the two-shot of a couple of gals and the whole thing. These aren't the actual original files. I shot them on the screen. Now let's talk a little bit about noise reduction. One of the biggest headaches you can have as a producer is background noise that interferes with the main dialogue or the main sound. And it's okay to have some background noise, but anytime it interferes or fights what you want your audience to be able to hear, that's when you got a big problem. Fortunately, Adobe has created an excellent noise reduction software in Adobe Audition, which is directly linked with Premiere. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. And you may need it if you're going to be shooting the UFO news project outdoors. Now here's an example of a project a student was working on where the background noise was pretty heavy. I'm going to play that for you now.
A UH student locally who got taken by the aliens. What happened up there, Bobby?
Well, at first I thought they were going to...
So you can hear the background noise is pretty bad. You got wind noise, you have some car noise from the parking lot, which you can't see. But it needs to be reduced to improve this. So first of all, right-click on the file, and go up to Edit Clip in Adobe Audition, then select that. Okay. What that does is it automatically opens Adobe Audition, and then you see the waveform in there. The next thing you need to do is select a sample of the noise. So you don't want any of the audio from the dialogue, you want only the noise. So you can see that the icon defaults to the text one. That's actually for selecting. So let's just select a section like right there. Okay, then you can play it and listen to it. So that's just noise. And just a second or two is all you need. So here's another section we could choose from and then play it to listen. Okay, that's good. And that is definitely the noise we want. Now, go up to Effects. Go into the drop down to Noise Reduction Restoration. We need to capture that noise print that we just selected in the timeline. Okay? You may get a little warning sign. Just click OK or say Do Not Show Again. Now, left mouse click outside of the noise print that you just selected, and that selects the entire file. Now make sure you have the entire file showing. The way you can do that is check C to make sure that it's all showing by using this slider. Otherwise, you'll only be reducing the noise for part of it. If I slide this down here and then select all, it's only going to select one section. So make sure, again, the entire clip selected. Now go back up to Effects, Noise Reduction Restoration. This time select Noise Reduction Process. Okay, and that gives you a graphical example of the sound. We don't necessarily want to reduce all the noise here, but leave just a little bit so it's not so annoying. And first let's play and listen to how it's set up.
Here with me is Bobby Neuron, a UH student.
Now that sounds way off. Sounds like he's in a little tunnel. Okay, so we don't want that. So you can go up to these controls and slide them back. And like I said, it's okay if we have some of the noise in there, but we don't want it to distort the sound of their voices. So let's bring this way back and play again.
What happened up there, Bobby?
That's too much.
At first I thought they were going to froze me and draw some blood, the usual alien stuff, but they ended up not doing that.
Here with me is Bobby Neuron, a UH student locally who got taken by the aliens. What happened up there, Bobby?
Well, at first I thought they were going to froze.
You can only get a certain amount of effectiveness on here, but it does reduce it. I'm going to pick somewhere right around there where it doesn't sound quite so echoey, but the background isn't so bad.
Well, at first I thought they were going to froze me.
It still sounds fairly realistic. And then click Apply, and you can see the level of the noise in the background has been reduced, and you can play it.
What happened up there, Bobby?
It sounds a lot better.
At first I thought they were going to...
But the louder the background noise, the harder it is to reduce it without some sort of distortion. And when you get to this point, then just save it, Command S, save. Then click back into Adobe Premiere, and you'll see a little flash, and then the audio comes back, and the noise is reduced in Premiere.
Got taken by the aliens. What happened up there, Bobby?
And you'll also see a new audio file, the one you saved, and it is automatically imported into your assets. Let's watch one of the more hilarious examples of this project created by some of my students.
Here we are at the University of Houston in Sugar Land, where people are scratching their heads over unidentified flying objects.
Oh my God! What is it? It's coming towards us! This wasn't in the syllabus!
Here with me is U of H student Bobby Neuron. Bobby, what did they do to you?
Well, I thought they were going to poke me with needles, draw blood, but they didn't.
What did they do to you instead?
They made me go on to SurveyMonkey, take a questionnaire on the digital media program.
That sounds painful, Bobby.
Excruciating!
I'm Billy Muchan, and that's all we have today. Back to you in the studio.
Well, I hope you learned a lot from this project, and I look forward to seeing some of your work.